All right, so now that we're sufficiently done yelling at me, so let's solve that one. Oh, look, it's one of the problems that we were just complaining about. Let's do another one. All right, walk me through it now. What are we doing?
We're putting in 1.
Hold on. What are we doing?
You're writing it down.
Solving for
It's
n.
already written down. It's on your note sheet.
Oh.
You have a note sheet for today. It's number 1. So, okay, so see the problem, but that's all you do right now is see the problem. What are we doing when you see that? We're summing, right? It's an addition problem. It's a series, it's a sum. Okay? So what are the 3 things that you need for a sum?
Number of terms.
You need the number of terms, you need the first term, and you need the last term. You need to have those 3 things in order to make the sum. Okay? Give me one of those 3.
The first term is 0.
Why is the first term 0?
Plug in 1 for 5, 5 minus 5 equals 0.
I plug in what?
A 1 for
I. Okay, you said 1 for 5.
Oh.
And then you lost everybody in the room. Okay? Yep, so I plug in 1 for 5. So 5 times 1 is 5. 5 minus 5 is 0. So my first term is 0. Love it. Give me another one.
Do you have to plug n in for I?
To find what?
The number of terms?
Nope.
The last term?
The last term. You just looked like you were going to say something. So I was all excited. Do you know what you're going to say, or do you have a question?
When I was trying to figure this out, I was wondering what does it mean. I don't know. I was thinking that 5 minus 5 equals negative 50, and you could like include it.
No. What that is saying. So what this? Actually, cut the brakes. Jump down a little bit. This is saying sum, right? This is saying that that sum is negative 50. Okay? I still need the total number of terms.
Is it n?
Why?
Because n minus 1 plus 1 is n.
Yep, top minus bottom plus 1. Now, you may not like it, but you have enough information to find the sum. Because the sum is the number of terms divided by 2 times the first term plus the last term. Right? What's the sum of this series? What you got? Negative 50. How many total terms are there?
We don't know.
How many total terms are there? N. We just found it right here, Colin.
Yep, that's not a number.
Great. Okay, what's the first term? 0. This just in. We sometimes in algebra don't use numbers. We use letters. What's the last term? 5 minus 5n. Sorry, try not to laugh, Colin. But I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of funny. All right. What do you want to do? You want to distribute?
No, times everything by 2.
I would multiply everything by 2. And the only reason I would multiply everything by 2 is because 5 is not an even number.
Oh, yeah.
If everything inside there was even, yes, then I would distribute. But in this case, I would multiply by 2 first. So that's going to give me negative 100 equals n times 5 minus 5n. Let me show you. So I got to multiply this side by 2. I got to multiply this side by 2, so that cancels out that. That's the only thing that cancels out. I can only cancel it out once. Okay? Now what do you want to do, Les? Now we can distribute. Yep. Uh-oh. Squared term. What does that mean?
Sadness.
You have to do the quadratic formula.
No, you don't have to do the quadratic formula. Not yet.
Oh, you get to add, make it equal to 0.
I got to get it all equal to 0. I got to get everything onto one side. So I'm going to go to the left. 5n squared minus 5n minus 100 equals 0. Nope, because that's already on the left side.
Okay, what if we did it to the other side?
No, you got to get it equal to 0. If I add it to go to the other side, then all I've done is I've switched sides with everything, and I still don't have it equal to 0.
It's a quadratic thing. You have to.
You got to get it equal to 0 because of the square term.
Okay.
Anybody seeing anything? Anybody seeing anything? Anybody? Make it a little easier? No, because honestly, Colin, if you see this, it's not that hard. No. What can I do? What should I do right now?
Oh, whole to 5.
Divide everything by 5. Yeah. This should take us about 4 seconds. What are they?
Well, there's going to be an n on both of them.
Yep. Okay.
Plus 4 and minus 5.
Love it. Now what? Now what?
You have to set that.
Set those equal to 0? Right? Do I like them both? Why not?
Because you can't have a negative.
Why can't I have a negative?
Because you can't go negative term.
I can't have a negative amount of terms. Okay? So that leaves me with, there are 5 total terms in this series. Now, I will ask the question, did everybody understand that?
Yes, now that you did it.
Okay? But did I do anything that was brand new to you? No. No. Right?
Yeah.
That is exactly the same as 57, is exactly the same as 60. The only difference in 60 is that total number of terms part is n minus 4 instead of just n. Okay? Alright? Since you guys are all primed up, let's do some word problems. Since everybody loves doing word problems. What's the first part of a word problem that we need to do? You gotta read it. Gotta read it. Okay? So, first one. A field house has a section where
I stay for this.
no, but you probably need this before tomorrow. Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Has a section where the seating can be arranged so the first row has 3 seats, the second row has 7 seats, the third row has 11 seats, and so on. If there is sufficient space for 30 rows, how many seats are in the last row of the section is the first question. The second question is how many total seats are in that section of the field house. Okay? Well, let's take that information and let's kind of write it out. So my sequence is, it starts with 3 rows, then it goes to 7 rows, then it goes to 11 rows, and then it continues on in that pattern. My first question to you is this sequence arithmetic? Why? Adding 4 every time. And if the pattern follows, we would always be adding 4. Okay? Alright, I like it. So the first question is, how many seats are in the last row of this section? Well, in order to come up with that, a sub n is going to equal a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. I need to know what a sub 1 is. What's the first term? 3. I need to know how many rows there are because that's going to be n. How many rows? 30. I need to know the common difference between each row. 4. $30 minus 1? 29. 29 times 4? What? 116? 116 plus 3. So there are 119 seats in the 30th row if this pattern, would continue on.
So would you do summation to figure out how many seats are total?
Now to figure out the total, now we would need the sum of all the seats in all the 30 rows, right? Okay. So what do I need for that? Okay. How many rows are there? 30. What else do I need?
How many are in the first row?
How many are in the first row? 3. And
How many are in the last row?
how many are in the last row?
119.
So the sum of all the rows is going to be n divided by 2 times the first term plus the last term. So that's going to be 30 divided by 2 times the quantity 3 plus 119. 30 divided by 3, 30 divided by 2 is 15. 3 plus 119 is 122. 15 times 122 is how much? 1830. So there are 1,830 seats total in that section. Now, I will tell you that because we're doing word problems, that means that your answers need to have a label attached to it. Okay? Unless it's just a straight up number problem, like that first one we did, n was just five terms. Okay? But in this one we have to have labels.
Do we put like S of 30 or what do we leave it?
Well, you could say S of 30 equals 1,830 seats.
So it doesn't matter.
But the answer that I'm looking for is 1,830. Okay? Alright? Talk to me about a production company. Is this the one that you have on yours? Okay. Because it's not the one that I have on mine, but that's okay. Go for it. Try it. Try it. Try it. All right. So, a production line is improving its efficiency through training and experience. If the number of items produced in the first 4 days of a month are 13, 15, 17, and 19, okay, project the total number of items produced on the 30th day of the month. Okay. So it looks like we're going with a theme of 30 in this one. So 13, 15, 17, 19, etc. Okay? So that would be A sub n is the first term minus 1 times d. So I need the 30th term, correct?
Correct.
Okay. What's my first term?
13.
13. The total number of terms? 30. The difference between each term? 2. Okay. 30 minus 1 is 29 times 2 is 58 plus 13 is 71.
Yeah, it's like, what does this even mean? She's right. She's right.
Good thing you take good notes. Or good thing that there's screencasts available too.
You have no idea how often I have to go back to my notebook and just stare at it and read it over.
That's why I encourage you guys to take good notes. Is that you have that resource to do that. Okay? Project the total number of items produced in the 30-day month. Okay? So what's the total number of terms? 30. What's the first term? 13. What's the last term? 71. So this is going to be the sum of the first 30 days is going to be 30 divided by 2 times 13 plus 71. That gives me 15 times 84. What is 15 times 84? 1260. So 1,260 items were produced in this factory that month. Boom shakalaka.
Sir, backside?
Go backside.
If I don't label it tomorrow, is it wrong?
You tell me.
Yeah.
What do you think?